Hello everyone, and welcome back to what is now the last video of Return of the Primarchs. It's been an emotional ride, it really has been fun. I've enjoyed doing each and every video. It's been fun exploring all these mad theories and everything, but we have reached the end. Unless GW make more Primarchs, and then I'm back and I'm bigger, baby. But for now, let's jump in and let's end this amazing series with none other than Konrad Curze. So Conrad Curze was the Primarch of the 8th Legion. They are the Night Lords, and the Night Lords and Conrad Curze himself are very, very different compared to all the other Space Marine Legions and Primarchs, because the way they behave is very, very brutal, very, very scary mongering. Like, their actual tactics themselves were terror tactics. That's what they were sent to do. They were sent into populations which refused the Emperor, and they basically broke them by skinning them and killing them, like mass genocides and stuff like that. They were the nightmares that were sent to quell these worlds. Now, Conrad Curze as a Primarch is very, very different than his brothers. One thing that separates him is that he has visions of the future, and one of these visions, which I thought was really cool, was the events of the Horus Heresy. Now, when he saw that vision, he confided in Fulgrim about it, because he trusted Fulgrim, because Fulgrim was one of the brothers that was sent to find him, along with the Emperor. He was like one of the first brothers he met. He told Fulgrim about this. Fulgrim then told Rogel Dawn. Rogel Dawn heard about this, and he was like, what in the Emperor's name is this guy on? So Rogel Dawn went to confront Conrad Curze. Conrad Curze got super mad pisser that Fulgrim basically betrayed his trust, and in a brief moment of anger, he attacked Rogel Dawn. Rogel Dawn wasn't expecting this, by the way. Just let me get this clear. Rogel Dawn was not expecting this attack. He just went to talk to his brother, and in the fight, Rogel Dawn got a bit of his, like, I think it was his throat that got ripped out, a bit of it. He killed a couple of Imperial Fists who were also, who were the honor guard for Rogel Dawn as well, and basically that was the beginning of the end for Conrad Curze when it came to his loyalty to the Emperor, because from that moment on, he took off and he was more or less classed as a renegade. But one of the things that happened at that time was that Horus then betrayed the Emperor, and the Horus Heresy started, and he then swore his oaths to Horus as the new War Master, so he couldn't really be brought to justice by any of the loyalists at that time, because the whole galaxy erupted in a huge, massive war. He did take part in the Istvan betrayal, where the Salamanders, the Raven Guard, and the Iron Hands were brutally butchered. There's a really fun story that Corax was fighting Lorgar at the time, and he was about to kill Lorgar, he was about to smash him, and the Nighthawk jumped in and interfered with it. It was like, you want to fight? Then fight me. And Corax basically fled from him, because his prowess on the battlefield is really up there with the top tier of the Primarchs. Like, you think of Leman Russ, you think of Horus, you think of Sanguinius. Conrad Curze is definitely on this, and Angron as well. Sorry, I forgot Angron. And Conrad Curze is definitely up there. He's actually gone toe-to-toe with Sanguinius before, so that should really put into perspective on how much of a badass he is when he steps on the battlefield. I still have hope and I still have faith that my daddy Dawn will get his vengeance on his shameful, cowardly attack. Maybe at Terror itself, I will finally see Dawn get some vengeance on this little goth boy. During the actual Horus Heresy itself, he was basically all over the place. He was on Macragge at one time. The Lion was doing a massive crusade against him. There's huge battles with him and the Lion. He won some, he lost some. The Lion really hates Conrad Curze. The Lion sees him as a beast, and you know what the Lion's like. He loves hunting beasts. So Conrad Curze is like the ultimate prize to hunt. So them two have a really big brotherly feud. I would say that the Lion and Conrad Curze are up there with like Perturabo and Rogel Dawn and stuff when it comes to like family feuds. So I am hoping like maybe during the Scouring we get to see some more of that stuff. I know it was not going to happen at the Siege of Terror because the Dark Angels didn't make it to the Siege of Terror on time. I wonder why. Yes, maybe that's another story for another day. But yes, he was basically all over the place. He was appearing on Macragge. Finally, he was captured by Sanguinius, the Lion, and Rebuke Gilliman. And where he is now, he's basically just been shot into space in like a stasis capsule. But of course, he's got to be found because he's definitely got to take part in the Siege of Terror. The Night Lords got to get him. sorry to those Night Lords who actually do find him, he's probably just going to like rip their heads off and stuff like that, because he's not the best of a person when it comes to like saying thanks and stuff like that. But he definitely will be at the Siege of Terror. Now, we know a couple of bits when it comes after the Siege of Terror. Don't forget, all this is a blur at the moment. I'm sure they're going to give more information because of the success of the Horus Heresy. I'm sure they're going to expand into the Scouring and all that kind of stuff, and we're all going to get these stories laid out so we actually know what's going on. We do know that the Night Haunter was eventually killed by an assassin. I think the assassin's called Shen something, if I remember correctly. And the assassin basically only succeeded because Curze, with his foresight, knowing he was going to die to the assassin, basically said, all right, the assassin's here. I don't care. And Curze just let the assassin chop his head off. And I know that's kind of, but what if he fought against it? Could have changed it? This is the thing which which has always frustrated me about Conrad Curze, is that he had this amazing gift, this gift of foresight to see events that were coming, but because he saw them events in his head, he chose that is the only path for that event. But he could have really stepped in and done stuff to change those events and made everything a little bit better, but he didn't, because I think in some ways he actually wanted it to occur, but in other ways I just think he was just too scared. He was just too much of a coward. Can you really be a coward as a Primarch? I'm not too sure, but I personally think he was a coward for not trying to step in and change the fate of certain situations to arise. Now, there is some debate within the community saying, did Curze really die? Because apparently the video feed cut out before you actually saw the assassin actually kill him, but I actually do think he did die. He let the assassin kill him, because the way that Conrad Curze turned out, he was basically everything which he hated. He actually destroyed Nostromo because of these villains, these corrupt monsters, and he saw himself as that corrupt monster, so he saw his death in a way as vindication, let's say. So I personally believe he died, but there is other people out there who still to this day debate that, no, Conrad Curze is alive, he's just waiting and biding his time, and he's going to be striking from the shadows once again. Now, for him to come back, I think we have to walk down this fabled road which we've walked down a couple of times when it comes to a dead Primarch, and that is the only real way he could technically come back is through a clone. I know cloning is so cheap, sometimes you can get frustrated and stuff like that, but that is the really only way I can see him coming back into the 8th edition storyline. You could probably argue that maybe his soul, his psychic soul, because it was kind of chaos infused with the Emperor making him, is still alive in the warp, and it's maybe like manifested into some kind of demonic demoness type of thing. Yes, I can completely agree. You can argue with that. But for him to come back as Conrad Curze, the Night Haunter, I really only see cloning as the way forward. And the person we all know who's the master at cloning is none other than Mr. Fabius Bile. Now, in the current lore, his cloning facility has been destroyed, so there's really no chance of him ever going down that path again. And there has been one clone to return, but maybe you should watch the Fulgrim video for that on Return of the Primarchs. Maybe that will explain some more about that Primarch coming back into the 8th edition storyline. So with his cloning facility gone, with him basically in the mindset that that was the past and he doesn't want to return to that, I can't really see him ever going down that road again and trying to get Primarchs back, you know, cloning wise, and doing what all the experiments he was doing. I think he's done with that. So when it comes to Conrad Curze being cloned and coming back into this new 8th edition setting now, I don't see it happening at all. And for me, that is the only logical path of him coming back. Maybe it's just a thing where if you die as a Primarch, maybe you should just stay dead. Maybe you should just stay under the ground or burn where you burned and just stay there. Sanguinius is dead. Sanguinius died for our sins. He should stay there. Ferrus Manus is dead. You can argue that he can maybe be leading Legion of Damned. Okay, I'll put my hands up about that. But yeah, I think if you die, then you should stay dead. Unless you're Vulcan, because he comes back every other bloody day, because he's always dying, that bloody guy. But Conrad Curze, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. If he did come back, okay, let's go into the realm of madness and possibilities of Conrad Curze just returning out of the blue one day. I personally think he'd just be normal Night Haunter. I think he'll just see everything as an injustice to himself, as he always does. go around killing, butchering, murdering in his own gruesome ways, his own sense of weird justice. I think something that could really be really cool if he did come back is that him and Guilliman don't see eye to eye. There's a really cool thing where he actually kidnapped Guilliman's mum during the Heresy at one stage, and Guilliman like completely lost it. Good old Guilliman, who like reads books and he's very, very like nice and neat. He's like, God damn you, and stuff like that. So with him coming back, I think it could make a really cool story for seeing Guilliman again, because Guilliman's basically like the de facto emperor now, leading the Imperium. So it'd be cool to see how Konrad Curze looks upon that and takes that, and maybe they can have like a little back and forth and stuff. That could be a kind of cool conversation of how their fates have intertwined and led them to where they are today. All right, that is me done for another and final video when it comes to Return of the Primarchs. I'm not going to be doing Mortarion, Magnus, Reboot, because they've all returned, so I don't really see a point in doing that. Some people said do the Lost Primarchs. I don't really see a point in doing them, because I think the way they're set up for GW is that they will never return. They're just there for you to make your own legions and stuff like that. I don't see them ever returning. And that's coming from the biggest Primarch fanboy, which you'll probably ever see out in the wilderness. But it's been an awesome series. I really much enjoyed it. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been with me along this ride. It has been really fun. I actually set out doing this series as a bit of fun, and it got like so in depth and so serious at the end. It was like, oh, okay, this is where we are now. So yeah, I've absolutely enjoyed it. It's been absolutely amazing. Again, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's always petting. Come on, bring another Primarch video week after week. I'm sorry this one took so long. It's just been so much stuff going on at the moment. But here it is, Conrad Curze. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about Conrad Curze. Do you think he could come back? How could he come back? Let me know your theories in the comments. Let's go one last time into the depths of Primarchs returning. Thank you, and bye-bye.